So my strategy was the KWL strategy. So what does KWL even stand for? It's like wrapping a Christmas present. We're going to go with that. So the K is the wrapping paper of it in the gift, okay? So it's what do I know? So here, this is where you would put any background knowledge you hold on the subject matter. The W is the tape that holds the paper together. So it's what I want to know throughout the lesson. And this can be anything that pertains to the topic. And the L is the nice pretty bow that goes on top. It's what I learned from the lesson, which goes in this last column right here. So what is the KWL strategy? It is a strategy that allows students to organize and build their knowledge before the lesson even begins. It allows teachers to recognize topics students are excited about even before the lesson. And a great way to improve this strategy actually is implementing an I and an R column, which is why this information is important and things that I need to remember for later assessments throughout this grade or this class. Some great methods to use for the KWL strategy is using the K column specifically to assess where the students are. This allows the teachers to know if they need to go into more detail about certain things and not as much detail about others. And students can work together in pairs or even as a large group to compare their background knowledge and build off each other to have a strong, solid foundation going into this lesson. Integration into a lesson is very important. So, two great ways to integrate this into the lesson is either have the students individually complete the chart or do a chart as a whole for the whole class where they're building off of each other again and they create a strong foundation. And especially for the last part, things might be said that other students might not have remembered they learned or should have actually learned from the lesson. And the amazing way is to have students go through and fill the chart in, not at the end of the lesson, but throughout. So the teachers can address beforehand, before the end of the lesson, when they're testing, to see if any students are struggling with any specific topics and how to address and better their understanding of the topics. So this is a formative and summative assessment strategy. So a formative view of it is use specifically the L column and use that as an exit ticket. Students fill that out and they put what they learned from that whole class period. And a good summative assessment using this strategy is having them write a 1 to 2 page essay with all their charts either like at a midterm point or at the end of the year to have a assessment of all the students. So the scenario we have today is an AP biology class for grades 10 through 12. It's 14 students in the class with a wide range of background knowledge in sciences, many of which this is their very first advanced placement class. The school is a rural school with grades pre-K through 12, and it's about 600 students throughout the whole school. So this scenario, that their teacher has been their teacher for all of high school. So she knows most of the students, and she's going to continue to progress with these students. She knows some students struggle with concepts, and little to few have taken an AP test before. So she wants to engage her students while also familiarizing herself with what the students already know. Group discussion and teacher modeling. So this is a KWL R chart because I specifically added the R because I think the R is great for advanced placement classes on human anatomy and bones. So here's a few things I learned before I planned the lesson and did the readings. And then this is what I strive to learn throughout these readings, which some crazy things like how do bones exactly heal? And then up here is our bow. It's what I learned from the readings and the lesson, which as you can tell is quite a lot, honestly. And the R is the most important column, I feel like, because it's, especially in an advanced placement class, this is what would be important for the advanced placement test or end of unit test. test. So, after I hand out these templates, you are going to go with your partner and fill out the K column and the W column. For what y'all already know, you're going to discuss and build off of each other. And what do you expect to learn from this lesson? So y'all are doing such a great job. I decided to pull up the template and write these few things down in the template because it's just, I noticed that most, maybe not all, but most of y'all know exactly what a phenotype and a genotype already are. And something I saw in one student's paper exactly was, what exactly are mutations and how do they occur? This I found very interesting because not many people are interested in it as a whole. So common text and independent practice. So now that you've done your K and your W section, what you're going to do independently, you're going to read the first half of chapter 4 on genetics, and it doesn't matter if you finish it in class today or you bring it home, but what you're going to do is after you finish reading those few sections, you're going to put what you learned from those readings. And then tomorrow, or if we have time today, at the end of class, we are going to discuss as a class, what do we think we need to remember from this? So it's important as a teacher to know that not all your students will write down various things so that they learn. No two students' answers will be the same. And it's your job to not only narrow down the more important concepts, but also to help them sort through important concepts and definitions that need to be put in the R column that are tied to curriculum standards. So in conclusion, the KWL strategy is a literacy strategy that is beneficial to the student and teacher alike in the classroom. It allows students to review background knowledge and build off of it for a stronger foundation throughout the course. Teachers help the students narrow down the more important things from the lesson within the chart. And the chart can be used in a group or individual setting, and it is also a formative or summative assessment.